Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 84. Today is November 13th?
Is it 84 or is it 85? I might have written down the wrong. It's 85.
It's 85.
I wrote it wrong on the show notes because I'm a fail. Welcome.
That's all right. Welcome to our show of fail.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les.
I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
And it is November 13th of 2011, only a couple of weeks till Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which means someone posted on Clark like only 6 weeks till Christmas. I have lots more knitting to get done than 6 weeks, but we'll make it work. Uh-oh.
Just ripped it. Stitches. Shoot.
I'm going to go first then.
You go for it. Thank you.
All right, so works in progress. I taught a starving artist class yesterday, so I had to cast on a new starving artist for that. And so I rummaged through my hand-spun stash and got out some lovely Gales art. I believe it was a Corridale that I spun. I bought the fiber at Niche in Atlanta, and believe it was gumball maybe, and spun it into more of a thick and thin. More thick than thin.
When did you spin it?
When did I spin it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
a while back.
Long time ago. Maybe a year ago.
Wow.
So it's finally getting used into a starving artist. I think I only have like a couple more inches to go and then the decreases. I'm just going to go till I have just a wee bit left and then do the decreases. So there
A wee bit is a technical number.
Yeah. Until I feel like I might run out. Other things on the needles. The Halle Berry stockings. Got a whole one row done. But it is one row.
Like
and I did chart Julia's name out, so I have that charted. I just have to start on that. So I have this white row, then a red row, then I can start on the chart with the hearts and the names. And this is the Halle Berry stocking pattern out of Interweave Holiday 2010. It's kind of nice to use up my magazines.
Yeah, I can
at least utilize some magazines. So, and it'll look like that, and it'll have an I-cord bind off and a pretty little hanger, and it will be awesomely awesome. And that is out of Wool Ease and Vanish Choice.
So it's washable.
So it's washable. On size 6 needles, I believe. The hat is on size 10s. And then I have part of a mitre cross done. I just finished the first square yesterday, the first mitre. And I'm about to pick up for the second, but I did it wrong. This is actually, yeah, that's the right side. So I did it wrong. I have the right side facing me. Ha ha ha. So I ripped it out and I'm going to restart picking up again. I don't know why that second square, when I read those directions, it just doesn't compute in my head. And I know it's me, but it's bothersome that it's me. What else do I have? Oh, and last but not least, I started a sweater for my niece, Julia. It is knit top down. It is the In Threes baby sweater. It looks like that. And then the detail that I really like is I like this garter on the top, and then it's got a garter panel that goes down the side, and then it's going to have 3 stripes of garter at the bottom. And I'm around 1/2 inch away from starting the garter at the bottom. I might make it a whole inch longer because my niece is a tall little monkey, and her sister, who's coming the day after Thanksgiving, is going to have a matching one. So, and I did the 4 to 5 T size so she could grow into it, and it'll have a little bit of ease versus, because it's going to be a layering piece, obviously. It's short sleeve.
Nice long.
I'm not certain how I like the armholes. I was just discussing this with Leslie. I might have Leslie crochet around them. But really like it. It's out of vintage wool, and this size is going to take 2 skeins.
It's Barocco vintage.
Barocco vintage, okay. And I guess it's not vintage wool. I guess it's just Barocco vintage, and it's on 5.5 millimeters, size 8 signatures, and it's working out pretty nice. It's going to get a bath and buttons if I can ever find the buttons because I've lost them.
We were talking about that on video chat last night. Laura got buttons exclusively for baby
the 2
sweaters,
sweaters,
and now they're MIA.
They'll turn up, or I'm going to Joann's tomorrow.
And for our non-English speaking people, who I keep forgetting to explain the slang if we use it. MIA, missing in action.
So.
Um,
Oh, and I was knitting on this, so I should
You
stop
are.
putting it away.
although you have many other things to choose from.
I do.
I've only got one project on the needles this week, and it is, we're trying a new lighting thing, so hopefully you can actually see the pattern this week.
Sorry about that from last week.
It's Bavarian cable socks, and it's a windy pattern from her little box of socks, or box of toe-up socks, or whatever it's called. I'm terrible at remembering that stuff. So anyway, it's really cute, and you can stick it in your project bag, and it's got the chart on the back and everything. So
I like that.
I had started it the last day of Graves, so last Sunday, but I only had a size 1.5 with me, which is my typical size for socks, but for some reason, I guess my gauge has just loosened a little bit over time, which will happen, because I was a real tight knitter, and now I'm not so much, I guess. So I restarted on a size 1, and this is
I love how that's pulling.
in the Volniza single malt in the twin, so it's 80% merino, 20% nylon. And it is kind of got like striping on one side, and on the back side it's just the lighter color for right now. But I restarted it last night, I think, when we were on a video chat. So it's making progress. I've already got the chart memorized because it's real simple. I just have to sit down and knit on it, but now it's my only work in progress, so I have time.
Yay. So you have a finished object then?
I do. Excuse me. So last week I was just picking up for the button band, or it's not really a button band, but whatever, for the abalone, and it's finished now, and it's got a bath. It's still slightly damp because I just laid it out last night, and it is thick because it's fingering held double. So this is it, and it is finished, and it is crazy bright red, and
I like it.
it turned out exactly like it was supposed to. The only weird thing I did was when I picked up stitches right there, I didn't account for the curve, so it looks kind of weird and bunchy, but only a knitter would probably ever notice that. But it fits like it's supposed to, but it still feels weird because I expect a cardigan to close, and this isn't intended to close. It's just, you know, excuse me for saying, but nipples outward. That's how it's described in the pattern. So it'll be good for wearing over a long sleeve black or white shirt. And I'll still plan on wearing it to Arkansas. So
Cool.
this took about 3.5 skeins of Tempted Sly Girl held double with a size 8 needle, which is 5.5, right? 4.5 or 5.5?
5.0 is 8.
5.0. Okay, 5.0 millimeter.
I only know that because it's in my hand.
Yeah, that's why I was looking. That's why I was
Looking at
you.
me expectantly.
So
'cause I
that's
can't
another
remember
sweater
numbers.
done. Yay!
So what else are you going to wear to Arkansas?
I don't know. I'll bring a bunch of shawls. I have tons of shawls. And
Oh.
last year it was up in the mountains, so it was cold. But I have a double knit cowl that I knit.
Oh, I love that.
I don't think I've ever shown it on the show. Maybe I'll show it next week maybe. So I might bring that, and lots of shawls. And the Moody kerchief that Laura knit for me, I took with us to Graves, and I wore it
I wore it.
2 or 3 days. Yeah, Laura wore it. Laura just stays
I'm a
cold.
stealer of all things knit.
You have FOs. You have NFO.
I have 2 FOs.
Do you? Oh, you do.
Stop doubting
It's always
me.
a competition. But it helps us keep knitting.
There is that. So the Hocus Pocus socks are done. There are 2 of them. I finished them in my CEU. Actually, it was really cool because I had 1 row and the Kitchener to do at the end of the CEU. So I timed that perfectly. This one's got a wee bit of purple. This one does not. So I don't know what happened there, but whatever.
It's going to be in your shoe. Nobody will see it.
I don't care. Brutal honesty. So those are short little socks, and I love them. And I had a good bit left over, so I will show you how much I have left over. This is the Vesper sock yarn in the... There we go. I have that much left over.
That's my
In the Hocus Pocus colorway. So, that much left over. And what I tend to do with my Vesper leftovers is I get 7 or 8 of them and kind of put them together and then make monster socks using like 4.
She'll do a set of stripes in one color way and then a set of stripes in another color way, and
typically 2 sets of stripes, but yeah.
And not worry about them matching up on both socks.
Yep, and it's lots of fun, and I enjoy it. And Becky got my last monster socks for Christmas a couple years ago. Although my sock yarn stash, I was cleaning yesterday. The leftover scraps I was just throwing into, like I had a big bag, probably about this size, and it's now overflowing. So I'm going to have to do something, knit some hexapuffs and put them in a bowl or something. I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
I have this thing I got at IKEA when we went last time to Atlanta, because we have to drive 6 hours to go to IKEA. We didn't drive specifically for IKEA.
We went to Stitches.
But we stopped and got, and this thing, sucker is heavy as all get out.
Waiting for you to flip over.
We've got this giant vase thing, and so it's full of all my sock
That's all
yarn
Leslie's
scraps.
sock
This
yarn
is just
scraps.
sock yarn. I have bags of worsted and stuff. I should put
You have
this
some
down.
Vesper in there.
Yep, and Vulmize and a bunch of other stuff. And my dog's going crazy, probably because the wind is blowing or something. Who knows?
And Kobe's fussing at him.
Yeah.
So that was the first finished object, and then the second finished object was the mutant square is finished.
Which our viewers noticed far more quickly than we did.
Apparently. Which is awesome. Way to be following along and paying attention. But it's done. I
So
laid
that's
out
7 down, right?
Yeah, 7 down. So I laid out it for my mom today just to get her opinion, and she's like, "That's hilarious. I would have left it too." So
honestly, I probably would have too.
well, she was sewing her daddy's blanket that she's making for Alice today, and she went to flip it right side out, and the lace was on the inside, so she had to rip out all the lace that went around the outside. I told her I would have left the lace on the inside, and my father said no. But
and I had never heard of a daddy blanket until a couple of weeks ago when I was at Laura's house, and it's, some of you probably already know it, but it's like a sewn blanket, but it's kind of an amorphous
folded,
sort of blob, and it's meant so that it can only be folded one way and that it'll be folded correctly that way. It's kind of insulting that a man couldn't fold something the right way, so they make it, you know,
it's for swaddling more than anything else. But yeah,
it's cute though. Your mom
it's very
does some
cute.
great sewing.
She stole yarn out of my stash to use for the thing.
Did you even notice?
I didn't, but it was Dale Garn, so it was
Oh.
okay. It was a light green Dale Garn.
What did she use it for?
So the way she does them, they're quilts, but she uses the little ties, like yarn ties,
Oh, yeah.
rather than actually quilting.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's probably a lot of work.
I
Did
think
she come
so.
home with a long arm machine?
No, she did not come home. My mom went to the National Quilt Show in Houston, Texas this past week and had a wonderful time. She actually said that there were a lot of yarn companies there. Ozark's Handspun was there. A lot of companies that do more novelty, because it's a big trend in quilting right now to do the art quilts where you affix like yarn to the top of the quilt, like the artsy yarn. So, Ozark Handspun is more of an art yarn spun.
Yeah,
so.
weird.
Yeah, but there was a lot of booths, she said, for yarn. But
I guess a lot of crafters kind of cross-pollinate along the coast, too. So
the felting machines for, or the felting things.
Somebody on our group asked about felting machines. I've never heard of that.
Knitting Craze, maybe? Is that who that is? She's got her grandson in the bucket hat as her avatar. It goes on your... It's a sewing machine device.
And it felts fabric?
And it creates felt.
How?
I really don't know. It's a needle felting, but I'm not that familiar.
Oh,
I'm sure
okay.
someone like Kate Jones will know, because she knows everything with quilting. Or I could just ask my mom, but I'm not that familiar with it. Because
Okay.
Mom was talking about it.
So we did FO, so now spinning. What are you spinning?
I'm spinning a loop bat that I had all packed up to come and left it at home. But it is the pretty loop bat that I got in the Tweedledee colorway, Tweedledee or Tweedledum.
This is one that you ordered, or the one that Karen got you?
No, this is the one Karen got me. I've since ordered some.
Karen opened the doorway.
But it has aluminum and silk and cordale and merino. See, I remembered that a silver material metal that's in it is aluminum. And it's really pretty. I'm enjoying spinning it. I feel like I have pencil shavings in my lap though when I'm done, because the little short fibers from the aluminum sometimes don't want to stay in. Although a lot of them are staying in. It's going to be really pretty. And I'm spinning it because it's a gradient. kind of looks like this. Um,
It's another loop bag.
So because it's a gradient and you spin from the inside out, it's a huge loop bat. So it kind of looks like that, but it's different colors and has a different content. Really, it's nothing at all like this, but the concept's the same. And you draw from the inside out, which has been really interesting. But
It's like a center pull ball,
yep.
but for roving.
But it's been lots of fun, and because it's a gradient like that, I'm spinning all the singles as one, and I don't want to Navajo ply it, so I think I'm going to get like a dark gray commercial yarn, lace weight, and ply with that instead.
So you don't lose your yardage?
Yeah, but I'm worried about it snapping, or actually I'm not so much worried about it snapping as I 3-ply it, Navajo ply it. I'm worried about it being so overspun that it becomes like that. You know when you sometimes Navajo ply, you get, if it's over twisted, you get kind of like a hard mass. I want it, because of the aluminum's already a harsh texture to it, I want something to kind of soften it.
That makes sense.
I don't know if that makes sense or not. Got my Loop Back Club package, by the way, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So you're spinning something too.
So Karen, when she came to Stacy's, brought us presents, which was very sweet of her. And I showed it to you, the loop bat, which was purples and pinks and some sort of magenta. And after I showed it to you guys a couple weeks, I took it downstairs and put it on the sofa because I was going to start spinning it the next day. And then Neelix happened. So
Neelix is a jerk.
It was a very tasty treat for Neelix, apparently. And he got into the bag without tearing the bag, got the bat out, and shredded it across the house. And I woke up to that one morning, which was a Monday morning, and that was awesome. And so I didn't even think. I just gathered it all together and put it in a bag and put it on the mantle. And I was like, I'm going to think about this another day. So I separated it this morning and spun it. So the first part, the dark purple, I spun this morning. And it is a little difficult to spin, not because of the preparation. The preparation was great, but because it was scattered on my floor. So now there's pet hair in it, and there's little specks of dust in it, and it's
got presents.
It's enriched with extra stuff from my floor, which is great. So this is the purple part, and then this is the magenta part, and it's in shreds and pieces. Doesn't it break your heart? And this is the dark part, which has got sort of a black and pieces of that magenta in it.
Pretty.
Which I'll spin next to the purple, and then I'll spin the magenta, and then the last is this crazy bright pink.
I love that.
Which again, is in shreds. So
what was the makeup of your bat? Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
Karen probably does, but
because Karen remembers everything.
It did have a little bit of sparkle in it, but very, very little. And that might have been by proxy. It might have just touched something that had sparkle in it, because there's really almost none in here. Or it could be that my dog ate all the sparkle. I don't know. So this is my loop bat now, but at least it was salvageable. And now pre-moistened by Neelix. So it's little parts of it are matted because of my dog is a jerk. But anyway, I'm spinning that. And I'm excited to keep on spinning it. And Karen's turned out gorgeous. I can't wait till she plies it, which
I know.
I don't know if she's plied it yet or not. I hope she has by the next show. So Karen, get to plying.
I don't know if she has or not either. I'm behind on Karen.
She's been working on the epic brown blanket of doom.
Yep. And her gorgeous sweater.
Yeah, the calligraphy.
If you don't watch Round the Twist, really, you should.
Round the Twist with Karen.blogspot.com.
What else was I gonna? Oh, so how are you gonna? Are you just gonna spin singles in the Navajo plan?
I am, because I'm boring that way.
No, I think that's an awesome plan. I just didn't want to do that with the aluminum. Favorite things. I'm gonna talk about my Loop Club, since I already kind of showed you.
You have a magazine review
of it.
too.
Oh, I do.
We can talk about that first.
Yeah. This is
because we're Loop-riffic today.
We're in spinning. So this is my first Loop Club package, and it came yesterday, and it came with a note from Steph, and she says, "Hi Laura, I'm so excited you decided to join the club. Hope you love your first club bump. This one's your surprise colorway," because she had 3 different themes, and one of which is the surprise. And you could actually pick out so you wouldn't have a surprise, but I wanted a surprise. Happy Spinning, and she's got a loop group. She's got a group for her loop bats on and all her fibers on Ravelry called Loopy Goodness. And there's the website where you can get some loop goodness. It's an Etsy site, and she did an update yesterday because I caught the update in line for Starbucks. And as I was ordering on Starbucks, I was playing on my phone and bought another bat. But this piece of gorgeous business is the Typhoon colorway. It is 5.4 ounces, so I'm going to get some awesome yardage out of this.
That's a lot.
Merino, Tencel, Angelina, and Bamboo. And I am super, super excited. I love her cards, how she does them, because she's got like a checklist. And some of the stuff is so funny to me. It can have shredded money, yarn snippets, recycled sari silk, Firestar Angelina silk waste, silk noil, cultivated silk, Tassa silk, eco spun, bamboo, ramie, cotton, linen, hemp, flax, nylon, tencel, milk protein, sea cell, soy silk, camel down, yak down, Angora bunny, cashmere, mohair, yearling mohair, kid mohair, Cotswold, Wensleydale, Teeswater, Romney, Lincoln, Coopworth, BFL, which is Blueface Luster, Cordell, Merino, Llama, or Alpaca. And then she can put other stuff like the aluminum. But I thought that's the cutest thing ever. And I'm super excited to spin this. And I have 2 more coming to me, 2 more shipments. And I really like her packaging.
What you ordered.
And what I ordered. I'm going to have to be really good at Arkansas Fiber Arts. But Gail's going there, and I love Gail. So, I don't know.
Gail of Gail's Art is
Yes.
what she's talking about.
Anyway, so that is my first thing. And then we have a magazine review. My mother, I was telling her how I love the concept behind this magazine, and while we were at Fiber in the Borough, she walked over and bought it for me. So she got it from somewhere, I'm not certain where, but it was $14.99, which is the standard price for Interweave special editions. This is a magazine by Interweave. And this is their 2011 edition because it says on the inside there will be a 2012 edition as well. So that's very cool. As you can guess from the front, the title, the name, everything in here is inspired by Jane Austen, which makes my little geeky literature geek heart swoon. There is Jane's World in History, which is a timeline, and anything that Austen is done in red. I love color coding. Anything that has to do with world history is in yellow, and anything to do with fiber arts is in blue. For example, 1820, an industrial spy brings the secret of the jacquard loom technology to England. So that's pretty cool.
There's a lot of really good articles for the Jane
There's
Austen file.
Tons of awesome articles. There's, if you knit some stuff in here and you want a dress to wear with it, there's an article all about sewing your own. It's an interview with the lady who owns Sense and Sensibility Pattern Company, who does sewn garments.
Reminiscent of the Jane Austen timeline.
Yep. The article that I really enjoyed was Jane and Knitting by Cheryl Craig. It talks about how knitting during Jane Austen's time period was mostly done by people who were trying to make money. They'd hand knit stockings. It was a very cottage industry
The working
type
class.
thing. Mm-hmm. And 20 years after she died, it actually became more of an aristocratic pastime. So that was interesting. It also talks about spinning wheels, and my favorite quote from that is, an antique spinning wheel usually bears the impression of the original owner's foot on the treadle, and old knitting needles are often bent by the individual owner's grip. And I thought that was very cool.
Because Laura's footprint is on her wheel.
It is. I don't clean my wheel enough and my footprint's on there. There's also an article of What Would Jane Knit, which is pretty interesting. And just that perspective.
And
that's
we can't
by
read you
Larissa
the articles
Brown.
just because it's a copyright thing, but
But Larissa Brown's also the person who wrote that article is also the person who wrote My Grandmother's Knitting,
I was
which we
going to say that
reviewed
name sounds really familiar.
on the show. The way the magazine is divided up, it's divided up into like different areas. So the first one is country, and the first pattern I really liked was Fitz Fingerless Mitts. It's fingerless mitts for a gentleman. I think they'd be a great Christmas present. They have a mock cable design on them that I think is very cool. And they are out of Jameson Spindrift. The pattern was by Catherine Shields. Then you marked the Georgiana Shawlette.
I really like the different front on it, and actually when I went and read the pattern notes, it said that they knit it that way because they often wore low bodices, but when it got cool they could tuck it in to their bodice to warm them up and to give the outfit a different look, which I thought was really cool.
The very cool thing about this is every pattern has a little story that goes with it. We're going to talk about that more as we talk about the patterns.
And they've got, there's sock patterns, there's men's sweater patterns.
There's a lot of short sweaters.
Right, that just under the bust.
And you did the Barton Cottage Shrug or something else on there.
It was this Barton Cottage Shrug, which I really like. It's got an interesting shape in the front, but it's knit in lace weights on size 4s. So it's never going to happen. But it's really cute, and I like the lace detail on the bottom.
Actually, I like that orange sweater on the next page, the Fiora pullover out of Schaefer Audrey. We're obviously bypassing a lot of patterns. I am in love. This is in the garden section with the Northanger Abbey hood. Love this, and it's out of silky wool, which I happen to have in my stash.
I have a crap ton of that.
And I think it would just be so pretty to wear over a fancy, like maybe doing black or even the gray, and wear over a dress to like a holiday party. I think it'd be so nice.
You could wear it to the theater.
Yeah, or when I go to the theater or whatever else. Obviously, I probably wouldn't stick the little flowers up here, but it's really pretty.
There's a lot of bell sleeve
There's
patterns.
something
I
in
like
here.
this one.
Okay.
This scarf. And what is it called? The Theme Scarf by Stephanie Gastal. Here. It's knit in lace weight, and I think on a size 3, maybe? I can't remember. But it's very airy and pretty, and it would look nice, you know, to pair it with a nice button-down shirt at work. I like that. It's pretty. And it would be something to use those, you know, really special cashmere skeins for, other than just a cowl. This I liked, but
Okay.
it's a little too densely knit for me personally, but I really like the waist shaping in it and the detail in the
And I really like the
Farrow.
gloves on the bottom. And that's actually an Annie Mode set pattern. The shawl that, you know, you were talking about, the Meriton coat by Stephanie Earp, and then that's out of Jameson. And then the mitts at the bottom are by the Kensington mitts by Annie Mode set out of Madeline Tosh sock. And the thing that I thought was hilarious was Annie Mode set in her biography says that she lives in St. Paul, Minnesota with her husband, children, pets, and many, many books. She agrees with Miss Austen that the person, be it gentleman or lady, who has not pleasure in a good novel must be intolerably stupid. That just made me laugh. And that was about it. There's a lot more capes. There's a lot more short sweaters. There's a couple things for men. But overall, I really, really like this. I love the idea of this.
Right. And I like that they tied it, that they gave each garment a story and the usefulness of that garment and where it was worn.
I like stories with my knitting. I don't know why, but if you want to sell a pattern to me, add a story.
Yeah. Or give it an awesome name that refers to a story.
There you go, like Meg or Thea.
Yes.
All right, other favorite things. I got some super cool soap from... Oh, see, this one doesn't have the... I'm going to have to link it in the show notes, because this one doesn't say where it's from. The other one, I'm so spoiled, the other one on the bottom of the box said where it was from, but this is peppermint candy cane soap. It looks like coal. It's going to be a present for someone for Christmas. And the woman who does these soaps, she's out of Tennessee. She does some super cute packaging. So it's got the little stamp on there, and it says naughty. It says love Santa. So super cute, and I'll link her in the show notes because she's got some other cool, she's got Titanic soap. The other thing that I forgot about in my Loop Back Club, she sent some bling to spin in too. I had set it up here so I wouldn't forget about it, but then I did. So that was pretty cool too. Some
Are you going to spin the bling into your yarn?
I think I might. I'm going to string them and see. I'm going to try. I think it'll be fun. I'll add a little
You can
something,
string
something.
them into your commercial yarn that you're going to ply with. Oh, no, that was for your other loop back.
Yeah. This I might use when I'm knitting it, actually. We'll see. They actually have the fleur-de-lis ones. Let me see if I can get this so I can show it. Actually have 2 prongs so I could feed it through both singles. It'd be kind of even. Be interesting. Interesting to play with.
I don't think I would ever add bling into my spinning.
It's
It's a cute idea, though.
I like it.
Those who are a little more free with their craftiness. You have a frog tree kit, too, right?
I'm just going to keep talking and talking and talking.
It's the Laura show.
It's a thing that would not shut up. When I was working at the yarn, I was teaching a class yesterday. I actually taught 2 classes. I taught a My Wish class and I taught the Starving Artist class. Hank had just gotten in my local yarn shop, Hank of Yarn.
Which is linked on our website.
Yep. Has gotten in these frog tree collections. She also got in some, we've talked about the Petty Boo yarn before, but she also got in their sport weight yarn and their roving.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Oh,
is
they have roving?
a bamboo merino blend.
I'm going to have to stop and get some.
But these kits I thought were super cute, and I had to get this one. I like the hat a lot. Let me get out the actual pattern. 25% of the proceeds of the kits with the pink yarn in them go to cancer research. And this was the one that I got. It is the Lymphoma Doma.
It's a clever name.
And the story behind it was the designer Linda Daniels. Her sister Heidi 3 years ago was diagnosed with Lennart's lymphoma, a rare kind of lymphoma. And it has been a difficult 3 years of stem cell transplants, bone marrow transplants, and intense chemotherapy. But Heidi is now in remission, and they are celebrating every day. So the double circle on it is to represent the double circle logo of the Lymphoma Society. And she just urges everyone to become platelet donors. So that is
you
that.
Could donate platelets.
I guess you can when you donate blood. So
That's
very cool.
It's a good way to get some money for cancer research.
Yep, and the bags, some of them have handles. There's a shawl pattern, a shawl kit, actually 2 shawl kits, a sock kit, very cool stuff. I thought they were very reasonably priced. Hank actually told me that she's not making standard markup on them because 25% of it does go to cancer research. So I really like the idea behind these, and we will have them.
Hank of Yarn.
Yep.
Her website's linked on ours, and you can reach
call
her that
her
way.
And talk to her and see what she has. I'm sure Frog Tree Alpaca has the kits on their website, and I'll link to that. She's going to order in some more because the sideways shawl, actually, she sold both kits before I got there. So I made her order
dare
more.
her.
I know, because I want that sideways shawl. I think it was very cute.
How dare she not have
But this hat kit, she does have one more of, and they were $22.20.
That's a good deal.
And we're going to take a bunch of them, whatever's we have, to Arkansas Fiber Arts Extravaganza. So if you're going to Arkansas Fiber Arts Extravaganza, Hank of Yarn is going to have a booth. I will be working in it when I'm not teaching classes. And stop by, see me. My patterns will be for sale there.
Cool.
And I'm going to try to get another pattern. Well, I am definitely going to have a hat pattern that's not up yet that will be premiered at that event. So,
Sweet.
cool beans, yo! And that, I think, is it for me talking for at least 5 seconds.
Laura and I always feel bad after because I'll be like, God, I talked the whole show. And she'll be like, no, I talked the whole show. So we always feel bad about that. But anyway, also my Woolmiza is curling on me because I'm a tight knitter and I add tension to the yarn so it curls. First world problems. So this week I did a different craft. I cross-stitched for a little while. If you're sensitive to bad language, you might want to just fast forward about 30 seconds or so.
If you have kids.
Yes, so skip ahead. I downloaded some patterns from Subversive Cross Stitch because there was one that I wanted to cross stitch for my friend, but I don't think she watches, but I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say what it is. And this is not it, but this is one that I got, and I finished it yesterday. Shut your whore mouth. And this is also going to be a gift. And wouldn't you like to be one of my friends to receive this in the mail? But I counted wrong, so it's 1 stitch too close to the E. But whatever, we're going to call that a design feature. So I have to wash it and frame it and all that, and it's going to go to a friend of mine. I love it. I love Subversive Cross Stitch. She's got some really funny things in there. And also, I picked this up at...
Did you pick that up?
Knitwits.
Okay.
And that was the knit shop in Sperryville, that we went to. And this is The Whimsical World of Thomas Joseph. And Hank is carrying this line, but I don't know if she's carrying the cross-stitch stuff.
She has the puzzle magnets and the keychains and the sheep and some other stuff.
So Hank, if you're
the
not
mugs.
carrying this, you need to. This is a cross-stitch kit, and it's really cute. It says hand wash only. It's got that embroidered at the top of the picture, which you can see on the back. But it's got little sheep, and they're drying on the clothesline, and that makes me happy. And it was like, I don't know, $10 or $12, $10.49 at that shop. And it comes with everything that you need, the cross-stitch fabric and the colors and everything are in there. So I'm going to start that this week. And that's for another friend for Christmas. Let's see. What else? I think that's it, except we have a giveaway this week.
We do.
And it is
very exciting.
An epic giveaway that I'm totally jealous of whoever gets this. So you guys all know my affinity for Cloud Lover. Natalie Quist, she runs that, and Cloud Lover has great colors, and her fibers are all prepared so well, and she dyes yarn as well. And I got her latest renewal note about the Fiber Club, and she asked, did I want to renew? And I said, of course I want to renew. And she said, oh, by the way, would you like to give away something on your show? And I was like, of course I would. So she's going to start a yarn club as well that goes along with the Fiber Club. So it'll be like December to February. And I don't have any details on what the colorways are going to be, but it's all going to be fingering weight range yarn, and it's 3 months, like I said, and it's $80 plus an extra $10 if you're outside the U.S. just to cover shipping, which is a really good deal for a sock club. I think 3 months for $80.
Yeah. With shipping?
Yeah, with shipping.
That's a great deal.
Unless you're in the U.S., and then it's an extra 10, which is still a good deal for 3 skeins of yarn. And she wanted us to give away a subscription on the show, which is awesome. It's an $80 value. Just free. Just
free to someone.
Yeah. So what we're going to do
Super cool.
is on the website, TheKnitGirls3ls.com, under the video, we're going to have a raffle copter giveaway. So you can enter by leaving a comment on the blog, by tweeting about the giveaway, or she's got a Facebook page that you can like for an entry as well. And once you do those things, you have to come back to the blog and say, I did that on the little raffle copter widget. But
if you leave a comment, why don't you go over to her shop and comment on your favorite colorway that she's got in stock right now?
There you go.
We'll send some business to her.
Yes, so
to her shop.
In your comments, list what your favorite colorway is that she's got up in her shop now. But I just thought that was really awesome of her she's debuting this yarn club, and she's giving away a subscription.
It's very cool.
Like I said, totally jealous. So anyway, if you want to enter, you have to do it by the Saturday night before we record again, which will be the 19th of November 2011. So make sure that you enter by then. It's epic and it's awesome, and make sure that you show Cloud Lover some love for her just giving away a subscription like that, which is awesome.
I agree.
So anyway.
What is it? Superstar.
What was it? Oh yeah, that's the Molly. What's her face? That's all I've got. But I'm really excited to have that item to give away. It's so much fun.
We wanted to talk about, someone had asked the question on the blog about how we chose projects.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that just really briefly. Most of our projects that we choose are, first we take into consideration what we have to get done.
Yeah. I would say probably half of what we knit is obligation knitting in one form or another, whether it's for a gift for someone that it's kind of their birthday or whatever's coming up, or it's a test knit, or it's a sample knit, or like Laura does a lot of designing, so I would consider that obligation knitting. So I would say
knitting.
half of that is stuff that you do because you need to do it for whatever reason.
And then I would say, out of the rest of the knitting that I do, most of it is inspired by yarn choices first. And then I go on Ravelry and say, oh, I've got this awesome Nama. What can I make with this? Mm-hmm. And on Ravelry, you can actually do pattern searches. You can do an advanced pattern search that you can say, hey, I think I want to use it for a shawl. Mm-hmm. And I think I want to use it for,
it's got 2 colors, or lace work, or cables.
And it has 430 yards. I don't actually know how much Nama it has. Or I've got 430 yards of it. And I want to use size 3 needles. And you can do all that.
And I want it to be something from a book I already own.
Yeah.
But you have to add that stuff into your library.
So you can, or a pattern from IKEA, mm-hmm. which is quite extensive.
Yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't really narrow down your choices at all.
So you can do that, or a free pattern, mm-hmm. or a pattern that costs money. Or a pattern from a book. So you can really play with, Ravelry is awesome for the amount of choices that it gives you. And you can play with that. And most of my choices are actually yarn inspired. That being said, sometimes I see a pattern and I'm like, oh, I'm making that now.
Yeah. Hence you having so many things on the needle sometimes.
Well, sometimes. I'm trying to think if I have anything on the needles now that I had to make that second. Like, for example, the sweater I'm making for my nieces. My sister-in-law helped me pick out the yarn, so I knew that I had 3 skeins of Barocco Vintage, which is a worsted weight, and I kind of was looking through the patterns that are sized for 3 to 5-year-olds, right. But also had sizing for newborns because I want them to have matching sweaters, and you can pick patterns for child, patterns for baby. You can look at those. And I picked this pattern because I thought it would work for both of them. And I really like the idea of cap sleeves as like a layering piece. Yeah. So something that they could both wear inside and play in. Because it's too cold in Philly to wear anything outside besides a big
Do you ever
fluffy
find
jacket.
That you reward yourself with something you want to knit after you've finished a big obligation? Because that's kind of what I tend to do is like, I just finished this, test knit that took me a week and a half. I'm going to cast on whatever I want. But for me, the hardest part is picking something. I am awful at picking something because I'll spend days looking for just the right pattern, and then I'll get Laura. I'll say, Laura, what should I pick? And she'll send me 10 choices, and I'll pick something that's not any of those choices.
Yeah, welcome to my life.
But picking a pattern is the hardest thing because I feel like if I'm going to invest time into it, it's got to be the right thing. And I think that's kind of goes along with knitting only 1 or 2 things at a time, is that I feel more obligated to pick the right thing to knit. I don't know.
I also tend to, well, no, because I just pick what I want to knit at that moment. But I also tend to gravitate towards designers that I know.
Right.
I like for example, right now, I signed up for the Woolly Wormhead mystery hat cal that's going on this month, even though I know I don't have time to knit 2 hats because I know I love her patterns. Yeah. I've done mystery cals twice. Actually, I've done it every year in the past, and I've enjoyed every single experience. So I decided to, I signed up for both. The pattern's inexpensive enough. I think it's usually cheaper if you sign up for the cal. So why not? I've been burned on that a couple times. Stephen West.
Looking at you.
No, and I like that pattern. I just have to redo it out of yarn that works.
It's hard to pick for a mystery pattern that's got 3 blocks of, 3 intarsia, colorways. It's really, you have to know what it's going to look like at the end to really.
And now seeing the end, I really like it.
Do it successfully.
Mine was clown vomit, and I'll be the first to admit that. But For me, I always tend to gravitate towards designers like Stephanie Chappelle, Hannah Fettig, Kirsten Kapoor, William Wormhead. I'm missing a whole ton. Wendy Johnson, Rebecca Danger. There are certain ones that I gravitate towards more so. Susan B. Anderson. Because I know that they write quality patterns. Jared Flood.
Susan B. Anderson patterns for Christmas.
Ooh, that would be cute. She has a Craftsy thing that is adorable. Side note, Craftsy, if you want to gift someone, a relative or a friend, an online class, that is very cool. I was looking at those options the other day because they have quilting, they have sewing.
Really?
They have knitting. And Susan B. Anderson and Stephanie Chappelle both do knitting things on there.
That's
there are
cool.
some very cool, and it's kind of like this thing where...
And this is Craftsy?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I'll link it in the show notes. You can go on and you can do the class whenever you want, and you can do it at your own pace, and you can email them, and
That's
you
cool.
know they'll answer any questions they
class
have.
or something through there.
They have a cool retro dress sewing class that I
I've
almost
seen
bought
that
for
one.
you for Christmas,
Yeah,
and then I was like, no, I don't know if she'd like that one.
I would like that one.
There's an art quilting one that I thought about for Mom too. I actually sent her the link. But that was a really cool Christmas idea to send someone a class that they can access at any point in time. There's a beginner knitter one. There's Susan B. Anderson has 2 of her different toys. I thought that was very cool.
That is neat. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I saw that bombshell dress is what it's called.
Yes.
Somewhere. I think it was linked in an Interweave thing or something. I don't know, but I saw that and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it yet. But it's something I plan to do eventually. Anyway, we have rambled on an extra 10 minutes, I think.
We have, but I thought, pattern choosing is a very personal thing, but I think Ravelry can help you with that. Also, if you have a yarn that you want to know what other people have made out of that yarn, you can go to the yarn tab on Ravelry, and you can look and see
there's like
what
pattern
other
suggestions or pattern ideas.
Like, I have some yarn pirate. This is going to be my next pair of socks. That's why I brought it over. And I can go on there and click on yarn pirate, and it'll say pattern suggestions, and I can see other things that have been made out of yarn pirate yarn. This is just going to be stockinette.
And then in the
Wendy
search
Johnson.
field, you can actually put in the colorway name, and it'll put up.
Yep.
It'll bring up patterns that were done in that colorway. So your Ravelry lesson for this week.
But that's super cool.
It is, and Casey is a freaking genius. Gosh, I wish everybody built websites like Ravelry built websites. But anyway, tangent.
But anyway, that's about it for us.
But that was a fun question to answer. So if y'all have others, somebody start a thread for questions for the Knit Girls or something, and we'll answer one every episode if you guys have them. Yeah, we tend to answer them immediately in threads, but it's fun to answer them on the show. We can expound a little bit more on it. Expound, whatever the word is. You're the literature person.
Expand.
Okay. All right, well, that is it for this week.
Yep.
We'll be back next week, hopefully with some more progress.
I'm back next Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll record the Sunday of Thanksgiving, too, because neither of us are going out of town.
Right. And then the next one is Arkansas Fiber Arts, and then there's 1 or 2 more Sundays where it'll be regular.
Yep.
And then everything goes to...
in a handbasket.
Yeah. But we'll figure it out. So that's it for this week. We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye y'all.